Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi. And before I go live tonight, one of the things that I wanted to discuss with you is that we are being so censored now, not just me. And this is something that many of you haven't realized. Some of you don't care because you're living your life right now without a care or a worry in the world. All right. And you'd think that, you know, everything is going to be skippy for you. And I'm here to tell you that it looks painfully clear that the same censorship you put on many of the brethren, painfully clear. All right, the same censorship you put on the brothers. All right. It's the same thing that's going to come back and bite you in the behind. And why? Because you thought your rights were more relevant than other people's rights. And what we're seeing now is that as I do this, all right, I had to try something because this system here just really threw a monkey wrench in how these videos get done now. And we do not live in a free country in the United States anymore. We've had many of dudes roll up and were proud of the fact that they put somebody in leadership position that the media hid pedophilia that was going on because it was their guy. They hid a lot of stuff. They allowed a governor to, and his policies to murder 200,000 elderly. And all of a sudden, because there's a push by a BAW, understand what's going on in New York. All right. Understand what is going on in New York. What is going on in New York is a push for power by a BAW that was made an attorney general. Remember, I told y'all. Remember that I told y'all. You better watch all these females that look like us that is going to school for law. Remember, I also told you that our laws in the US are corrupt. I've always said that. I said, because they do not go according to the commandments, and because they changed their, understand what they did. They took away the rights of everybody almost instantaneously. They did it end around. They used the current thing and the fear of people. And it was easy to do because they figured that most of the people that are afraid will do anything that the media tells them And all they got to do is pay a few doctors. And because of fear and laziness, they could take away the rights of everyone, because most of the people will help them take away people's rights. All right. As you see now, they intentionally are raising the prices of food. Landlords that are able to evict people, I want y'all to understand this, and get their money, or that was girded up by the government, are the big corporations. All right, I want you to understand that. I want y'all to understand that. It's the big corporations that got the safety net. All the little landlords just have to suffer. Now, here's the problem with all of that. The problem with all of that is this, that no one is really prepared to handle what's about to happen. No one is really prepared to handle what's about to happen. And I am so angered at what's being done, right? And then and we all had to think about this. We saw the wickedness of the land. We saw the wickedness of us as a people. We saw the wickedness of the BAW and the betrayal to the utmost. We saw so much wickedness. We saw so much evil. We saw no repentance, no real apology to the people that they did the most damage to, and that would be us, the Afro man. Not the criminal Afro man, mind you. All right? We're not talking about the criminal Afro man. We are talking about the good Afro man. The Afro man that was trying to do right. All right. So another thing happened. We watched the Afro man be persecuted, not only by the system. We watched the Afro man be persecuted by our own people. And so one of the things that I was wondering is, now that judgment is coming, and think about this, judgment is coming of the doing of the people that are probably least likely to survive the judgment. All right. And I want y'all to think about that for the moment. There's a couple of things that, as I look at some of the feeds, there's a couple of things that I realize. All right. And some of the things that I realize is this, that, let Brother Dwight know I'm on here. that we as a group, whoever the righteous men are, because I understand that a lot of the dudes aren't the independent righteous men. Okay? And when I say independent righteous men, we were supposed to lead our homes and be sovereign. And that's not quite what's been happening with us. All right. And we don't understand that we can't lead a home that we're not chosen to be in. So I want y'all to understand that. We cannot lead a home that we are not chosen to be in. And in this present day, voices like mine will be silenced. And not by, surprisingly, it won't be silenced by the system. Spiritually, we'll be silent. All right, I want y'all to understand that spiritually, we will be silent. The Most High will pull us away. All right, I want y'all to understand that the Most High will pull us away. And is really going to hurt people, but it's kind of not going to matter anyway. Because the very things we were trying to put together, all right, the very things we were trying to put together, the very people we were trying to help, we didn't get no support for our own. Same as the prophets of old. We gave our best to everybody except for the people that were really trying to do something for us as a group. And basically, I think those days are over. Like, as for me, I'll keep trying, but sooner or later, the Most High is just going to have enough of it all. And the people that I'm close with will be good. The people that just roll by just to hear what's going on, just the mystery of the day, all right, they are going to be hurting. All right, and they're going to be hurting for this reason. When we are shut up, and there's a lot of people that people refuse to listen to, not out of hatred, right? But out of just pure laziness. And when I say pure laziness, I'm talking pure laziness. We got people that got mad at stuff because the media told them to. They didn't think about things on their own. They did specifically what the media told them to. The most disappointing thing that I saw was how thoroughly corrupt that we are as a people. I'm talking about the so-called Black people. So much so that they don't understand that they're not a color. And that's the sad part. You can't convince them that they are not a color. All right. And so basically, I'm sitting here wondering, do I battle what the Most High have for me? Now, I'm going to give you this little bit of reminder. I saw what we have. I saw it coming. All right. So I saw what we have coming. You know that I saw what we have coming. And this is how I know that you know that I saw what we have coming. Because when Trump got elected, I told y'all to get your SH in order, because you have until the time he gets taken out of office. Notice I said that. I said you have until the time he gets taken out of office before the SH hit the fan. Because as soon as the Democrats get back in, it's going to be spiritual hell on earth. And I wasn't saying that because of the party. I was saying that because there was a deep-seated spirit of wickedness that was going on. And I knew that many of us would be caught up in it. Want me to tell you how I knew? I knew many of us would be caught up in it because many of us are suckers. Why are we suckers? Because and other people keep telling people, don't listen to the media. The only media so-called black people won't listen to is Fox. But they are the least dangerous to us. Why is Fox the least dangerous? One, we already don't trust them. Two, we know that many of the people that they use, black or white, Afro or not, woman or male, they don't speak the truth to our issues in our community. They speak only for the Caucasians party. And while I will agree with the party platforms of the conservatives, the ideas that they stand for are not their party. And who their party is not who they used to be. Because that party used to be us, and then we're not represented. And I want y'all to understand it. When the Republican Party was us, the seeds and history of slavery and buck breaking and all the rest of that stuff was not forgotten. Only when they kicked us out of that party and out of the government completely, the Democrats and Republicans, that they try to erase the, well, they couldn't erase it because you had Jim Crow and all the rest of those laws. All right. So what happened is this new branded thing was for family, against abortion and stuff. And now the reason why they were that way was because of self-preservation. All right. Now let me explain self-preservation. What the Republicans did, they understood that if you build these slaughterhouses for women that want to rid themselves of babies, that you are going to destroy yourself, even though you're trying to destroy the color, getting a particular color and wiping it from the earth. All right. The Republicans understood this. But then, like I keep saying, the one thing I respected about the Republican Party was their voters. Their voters held them held their feet to the floor. When Newt Gingrich won, taxed, and when they went after Clinton for the BJ, the Republican voters said, "You, even though he had a plan and won them the House, they said, no, you're a hypocrite and you taxed us. You're out." The Democrats took over after that. Here's the thing. The Republican Senate and senators will not stand. And when you look at this bill, this true this $1 trillion bill that they're about to pass, none of it has anything to do with infrastructure. They're legally going to take away your rights, have you monitored, and have you have a tax on how far you drive. Understand this. And this all has nothing to do with saving the environment. Because what you don't know is to dig up the stuff that it would take to make an electric cars. You would make the environment 10 times worse than oil. At least the oil can be reused. But once you turn the stuff that they dig out of the ground into battery components, it does not denature, meaning it doesn't deteriorate. And so you have a whole bunch of toxic stuff, but these people say, oh, we're just here to do this thing for the environment. That's bull. All right. So I wanted to say that because I want y'all to be aware of what's going on. And the live is about to start right now. And we're going to be digging all into some stuff because I want y'all to understand. Okay, Elias said, according to the news, something, so I'll look at it. All right. This is something I want y'all to understand. Right? That everything that you worked for is about to be taken away. And the only way around it is to fight for your rights from state to state. But some states will have sold people out, like Georgia sold out the people in Georgia. Tomorrow, they have a news show on where they show what actually happened at the election. Oh, you talking about an eye-opener? Okay, the infrastructure bill is 2,000 pages long. All right, so let's get this thing started as we dig all into this. All right. All right, y'all know what time it is. So this is the Reluctant Nabi. I'm saying what's up to everybody. I'm gonna greet everybody real quick. Gordon Hardu, good dog, Olo, oi to the main, bosses los. Bonjour, mes amis, kedabawa ni konnichiwa. Ni hao ni ama, sani bonani. Jambo habaragani. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, kamusta ka, kamusta po kayo, talapa lava, soy pua. All right, let me jet out, get some stuff, and we're gonna get into some real, as they say, the real. All right. All right. So with that out the way, I'm about to pull up some stuff with Brother Elijah, right? So, and we're going to go into something because I wanted to break some stuff down to y'all. Now, often I tell you, all right, the infrastructure bill just passed. It is the most dangerous bill to free-loving people in the United States. Period. And it is a bill that may start a civil war. All right. Because these people they do not represent people in the United States, the Republicans or the Democrats. And the Republican senators have just shown that they do not represent the people in the United States. Now, understand a couple of other things about this bill. I think many of the people who are, you got people that are going to retire, and trust me, they're going to leave the United States. Oh, straight off the bat, they're leaving the United States. The people that are going to retire are leaving the United States. The people that were coming over the border, you better question that, because a lot of, see, here's the thing. I keep saying that the Caucasians need to listen to us Aboriginal Afro people, but we need to listen to them also. See, they spied stuff going on at the border that y'all probably weren't aware of. Like military personnel coming across the border that is not from this country. That UN sites have been set up all over the place. Why do we got UN why do the UN have presence in states? Not in New York, but in states. How did they get the permission to go and be in somebody else's state? All right. Now, in these bills, it's nothing good. In these bills, it is nothing good. All right. So right now, like I said, if you don't have your SH together, you're going to have to make some hard choices, some very difficult choices. All right. You're going to have to make some really difficult choices. And because, because we allowed the unrighteous to separate us. And the harm is going to come from this. All right. The harm is going to come from this. Instead of being led like men. All right. What's up, Dwayne? Instead of being led like men. All right. This is going to open up. Because I haven't done one of these in a minute. So I'm going to open up. I'm going to throw a link at the end. But I want to go over some things so that y'all understand some things, right? And if you have anything historically speaking and currently speaking based on this, all right? But instead of being led like men, where we allowed ourselves to be led by women, we had dudes in our cities vote for women. all right, over men. They voted their feelings, all right. These are the same dudes that would attack us. And I'm going to tell you, in order to get to the people who are a true enemy, you got other enemies to go through. All right. And so there's the meeting up, the planning, the storing, and stuff like that. How many of you know how to grow food? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Dwight is ready. But see, Dwight, you got one thorn in your side that will sell out you, Pops, and you know, because here's our problem. And hey, what's up, Captain Marvel? All right. So here's our problem. Hold on, I didn't do this. All right. So what's up, Dwayne? What's up, Young Boy 24, King Groove? Dwight already got you. Hey, what's up, P Vic? Captain Marvel. Hey, David Bowman. Cortez. Okay. Hey, Simplified Texas Marine. Be the Great B. What's up? And what's up, King Rue Nessman 99. All right, so here we go. So basically, the only way to get around this and to survive this, what's coming, is that y'all have to get back to the commandments, not the New Testament, anything. Y'all need to throw the New Testament away, because we will have to rewrite our own story and not use the Roman narrative. In Revelation, it was not prophecy. Revelation is not prophecy. Understand this. Revelation is not prophecy. What it is the roadmap to tyranny. Let me explain this. John the Revelator was writing specifically about Nero, but the things he recognized in the people and why the Romans were able to do what they do is the same way that the people, or why the new Romans, which is our government, would be able to do what it does. All right, I want y'all to understand this. So that's what's going on here. All right, is Nero all over again. Only people thought you had power of the vote. Didn't know that it can be taken from you so easily. And with all these mechanisms in place, it's going to be up to each individual state as to what they're going to take and not take. All right. When there is a news show happening tomorrow at 7 o'clock, the guy that did the mattress thing, right? And they have kind of sifted through everything, and now they are able to tell you what happened during in 2020. Except November 2020. Right. Exactly. And there it is. There it is. We may not have a central government anymore because they lied. See, this is different from China. When people grow up, they're grown into communism. And then you got liars who tell you, oh, we're not going to take your rights. And the first thing they do is get a bunch of weak people together, right? And get them to tell you, oh, do this, that, and the other. And there might not be much of a people army to come into fruition as a result of what was happening. All right. Now, there's some basic reasons why we are going to have to endure what's about to go down. All right. There is some basic reasons why we are going to have to endure what is going down. All right. I want to point out some things real quick. And I'm going to point out where we failed. And why the men, many Afro men, many men are going to go down with the BW because they got to. All right. They simply have to. And why? Because they chose to be led by them. All right. They chose to be led by the BW. When we tried to tell them that you need to man up and be a leader, these dudes turned around and attacked good men. These dudes turned around and attacked good men. Now, I want you to understand stuff, right? In Genesis 3 and 16, we went over what the woman did. She committed adultery, laid up with Azazel, created Cain. So she was the first adulterer. Eve was the first adulteress. Okay. Now, as a result of that, the Most High recognized a problem. And he said to the woman, Genesis 3 and 16, to the woman, he said, I greatly increase your sorrow and your conception, bring forth children in pain. So she's supposed to have sorrow. Her conception is supposed to be longer. She's supposed to bring forth children in pain. And even though her desire is for the position of the husband, he rules over you. So he gave us sovereignty and we ignored it. I want y'all to understand this. He gave us sovereignty and we ignored it. I'm going to tell you how easy this is. We have people all right. We have people that have attacked. I want y'all to understand this. We have people that have attacked any Afro person that did not bow down to whatever. All right. I want y'all to understand this. If you look at it, they went and attacked Simone Biles. They attacked everybody because it is so-called black people telling other black people that you need to just shut up and do what the former slavers. That's the legacy of those who are in office. When you look over their generation and their past, especially the Pelosi's and all the rest of that stuff, eugenicists that want Afro people eliminated. When you look at this, they always have those that will betray us. All right. So first, I have to remind you as to what our position is. All right. So the first thing I'm going to remind you is one, we are sovereign. Regardless of what happened with our ancestors, now that you know we are sovereign beings, and that sovereign was given to us. This is our book, the Old Testament, the Torah, and it was called by other names. This is our book. We are sovereign. All right. Oh, not done yet. Not only are we sovereign, right? We do not follow the marriage laws of the Caucasians because they're not our laws as a sovereign people. All right, hold on for a second. I want to find something. Is it 21? Okay. Let's look at Deuteronomy 21 and 15. These are the laws that we go by. Now, we're only going to deal with the family laws and the sovereign laws. Because when it comes to warfare, that has been manipulated by the Caucasians that translated this. And so I want y'all to understand something. There's a particular reason why I do not follow the camps. All right. There's a particular reason why I do not follow the camps. And that is because we're not supposed to follow what the sons of Abraham did. We're supposed to follow Abraham. All right. So understand this. Deuteronomy 21:15. When a man has two wives, I can stop there. But so you can get context. When a man has two wives, one loved and the other unloved, and they have borne children to him. So he has children from each wife. That means he has more than one wife. Oh, this is Bible, y'all. Both the loved and the unloved, and the firstborn son is of her who is unloved. Then it shall be that on the day he makes his sons to inherit his possession, he is not allowed to treat the son of the beloved wife as firstborn in the face of the son of the unloved, who is truly the firstborn. But he is to acknowledge the son of the unloved wife as the firstborn, giving him double portion of all he has, for he is the beginning of his strength, and the right of the firstborn is his. The right of the firstborn is his. So when he says a double portion, when he's divvying things out, he gets 2/3 and the other son gets 1/3. You understand? So that's how that works. He gets double what each other individual gets. Because it is his duty to be the chief over the family. Wait a minute. Why do I bring this up? I bring this up because if we follow the failings, right? If we follow the failings of what the camps want us to do, first of all, they're out of order. If we go back to Abraham, that's originally what we were supposed to do. All right? That's originally how we were supposed to do it. All right. So in order to weather this, we have to get back to, as the white, when me and him talk, when I come home to the US, enclaves, right? So enclaves is where we get back to the commandment and we start respecting each other. The most disrespectful clowns that I see is other black dudes that trying to sleep with everybody's woman. We need to get back to what you do with a man like that and the woman who allow it according to the commandments. We are going to get back to, we're going to be in a feudal system where if you don't have enough people that have your back, you're going to be doomed. All right. These need to be our laws. We see right now that the democracy of the Caucasian is a very, very corrupt system. Only the rich can become leaders, or those who sell out to the rich. All right. Capitalism is a wicked thing. Why? Because capitalism isn't true. What happens is when a Caucasian gets enough money to keep other people from making money, even poor white people, they change the rules by paying off the politicians. So basically, we see right now how abhorrently corrupt this system has always been. And I've been telling y'all that for a while. Why? Because most of the system got rich off of slavery. That's the edge the United States have on other people, is that they were better at making people their animals. That's the legacy of the United States. And then they wouldn't even teach it to other Caucasians. Like I said, I had to break it down to a brother here about buck breaking, what it truly was, what truly happened when the Afro man was lynched. I had to tell him when the Afro man was lynched, they cut off his reproductive tools. Buck breaking, it was the LG crew going up in the behind of an Afro man after he was beaten to an inch, within an inch of his life. But they didn't know that. Why? Because the schools aren't teaching this. I had a date with this one female here, was a doctor. And I was like, oh yeah, she fine. Right? But she was no good. She was really no good. Hold on. Let's see. So one must be careful. Let me see if we can see this. One must be careful. All right, that's her. All right, look nice, was a doctor. All right, but one must be careful. I'm going to show you the deception. She came to me like this because her intentions was she wanted to go out. And all we did was I just said, well, we can go out and go and eat dinner. That was basically it. All right. And so basically, a lot of these women are around to take our resources. This is why we have to leave them alone. If ever there was a time we need our resources, now is that. In cryptocurrency, they're making laws so that you can't make money off of that. These people in government do not want any of the people to make any money. I want y'all to understand this. They don't want any people to make any money. They don't want you happy. They don't want you with liberty. They don't want you making money. They want you 100% dependent upon the government. No freedom for you. No freedom of choice and stuff. And they want to use your body however they see fit. And if you messed around and got that juice with what it's made of and the synthetic stuff that is made of, that synthetic tough stuff changes who you are and gives ownership of who you are. Understand this, to the companies that made the synthetic stuff. That's according to the Supreme Court law that was just had like a couple years ago. See, so this is a slow cooker. All right, so why is this important? Why am I talking about this? Any female who don't agree with going back to the scriptures are not worthy of our protection as it comes down to it. Either they belong to the system or they're going to belong to our theology, our going back to who the Most High created us to be, where we're Hebrews again. We're not going to be all these 12 tribes. No, we're not the tribes. We are Hebrews. We are descendants of Abraham. And let's leave it at that. All right. We go back to the commandments. So, 1, we are sovereign, meaning we own our own SH. 2, we get rid of all that jacked up mentality. Yes, they were. All right, we get rid of all that jacked up mentality. All right, and then 3, we get an understanding that we are supposed to have no men leading us. When we come together as elders. We have elders and judges. They are usually elder people that are appointed by the group. All right. And when these people go astray and not follow the commandments, see, so the Supreme Court itself does not follow the Constitution. The Supreme Court, because it can, is skirting the Constitution. Remember, the Supreme Court made corporations people so that the corporations can take over the government. Mitt Romney, remember, corporations are people when they're not. And so because of the Supreme Court ruling, the corporations just bought out your government. Right? And it came to be that when Samuel was old and made his sons ruler over Israel, let's skip that, the names of his firstborn and all of that stuff. Samuel 8:3, but his sons did not walk in his ways, turned aside after their own gain, took bribes, and twisted right rulings. And all the elders of Israel gathered together and say, Samuel at Ramah. And said to him, look, you are old, your son do not walk in your ways. Now appoint a sovereign to rule over us like all the other nations. Now Samuel was not a sovereign, he was a prophet and a priest. Understand this. And so instead of being led by the Most High, they wanted to be led by a man. Okay. I'm gonna say what I've been saying in my TikTok videos, right? But the word was evil in the eyes of Samuel when they said, give us a sovereign to rule over us. So Samuel prayed to Yahweh, and Yahweh said unto Samuel, listen to the voice of the people in all that they say to you, for they have not rejected you. For they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me from reigning over them. Uh-oh. Oops. That might be a problem, huh? Right? According to the works which they have done, you know. Now, let's go down to Samuel warning. The Most High told Samuel to speak these to the people. And I spoke all the words to the of Yahweh to the people who asked him for a sovereign, and said, this is the ruling of a sovereign who does reign over you. He shall take your sons and appoint them for his own chariots and to be his horsemen, and they shall run before his chariot, and appoint commanders over his thousands and commanders over his fifties, or to plow his ground and reap his harvest, or to make his weapons and equipment for his chariots. And your daughters he's going to take to be perfumers and cooks and bakers. And the best of your fields and your vineyards and your olive trees he is going to take and give them to his servants. And a tenth of your grain and your vintage he is going to take and give it to his officers and servants. And your male servants and your handmaid servants and your best young men, your donkeys, he is going to take and use for his own work. A tenth of your sheep he is going to take, and you are to be his servants. And you shall cry out in that day because of your sovereign, whom you have chosen for yourself. But Jehovah is not going to answer you in that day. Now, I want to break something down. All right, let me remind you. Let's get the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. For those of you who haven't already. All right. And my PayPal, me, and Cash App is in the description box if you want to donate to this channel and help me do what I do. All right. So let me say this. Exactly. Oh, King Groove, you see it too. They ain't nothing but the ripoff of the Nation of Islam. Right? But here's the problem. Anyone, this is why I said this. This is why I said this. As we read this right here, again, the onset of World War II, the Freedmen's Bank, all assets were seized. These people have always taken our money, our lands, and everything. This is what happened when you choose the person to lead you. All right, this is what happened when you choose the person to lead you. When Clinton was running, I was in our army. On my way out the first time into the Guard. And what's happening now is there's always a power grab no matter what the government is. No matter what the government is, there's always a power grab where they want to take all the resources from the people and keep it from them for themselves And then they want to make the people their slaves. And that's exactly what's going on in the United States right now. And if you don't understand that, which most people that vote Democrat are not going to understand it. Now, I'm going to say this. I was hoping we would have 4 more years to have time to really get things in order. Like for me, the stuff that's going to happen to people, I'm kind of inoculated against. I really didn't understand how well the Most High was working in my life to put me in a situation where I would be inoculated against a lot of what they may do. All right. So basically, I got a few backup plans, this, that, and the other. This is just a really, really wicked thing that is going on right now. All right. And so it's wickedness that people brought on themselves. One of the commandments that, let me get to it. Let's see what else. Okay. Because there's no, it's a camp. That's what it is. It's just a grouping of people, right? And Lord of mercy. All right. Let me just get into this, right? Now, this is why most Afro people are going to be punished. Right here. You do not bear false witness against your neighbor. Let me explain this. So on my TikTok videos, I came to the conclusion that I have absolutely no respect at all for the so-called Black Democratic voter. None. Absolutely none. They voted against the interests of the community that was doing so well out of hatred and out of being liars. And this is how spiritually corrupt these people are. And they run around, call themselves holy and Christian, right? This is what I mean. I told you I had a problem with Republican voters in that they want to forget the slavery and all the evils, the Jim Crows and stuff. They want to think that this country was great. This country was great for them. All right. When Trump said, let's make America great again, when you really think about it, it was great for us until the white people start bombing us from the buildings. If we went back to the policies without the racism before the 50s, we all could have been great again. Now, let me explain this. When he said, let make America great again. Yeah, Dwight does. All right. let me say this. So when he said that, when Trump said that, at one point before 1950, it was great for us and Caucasians. It's just that racism was a big problem. So in 20 whatever, with all these laws, you could make America as great as it was back then, only without the racism, all ships would have been lifted. If you think about it, we were greater then. Under all the oppression, we still had families, houses, cars, entertainment, and strong children. And now everything is effed up. So it's not great. It hasn't been great since the 70s, since the BWs made that contract with the Democratic government to utterly destroy the community. All right, when we talk about Jezebel, when we talk about the wickedness of Jezebel, these women even surpassed them, because in droves, by the millions, they destroyed lives in their belly. Even Jezebel be like, what? She might do it when it come out the belly, but these women did it in the belly. So I want you to understand this. When we talk about this spirit of Jezebel, all right, when we talk about this spirit that I keep mentioning, Deuteronomy 12:31. When we talk about this, this is stuff that in our enclaves, we don't want any woman anywhere near us that have done any of these heinous things. All right, let's Deuteronomy 12:29. When Jehovah your Elohim does cut off from you, before you, the nations which you go to dispossess, and you dispossess them and dwell in their land, guard yourself that you are not ensnared to follow them after they are destroyed from before you, that you do not inquire about their mighty ones, saying, how did these nations serve their mighty ones? And let me do so too. All right. Do not do so, Jehovah your Elohim, for every abomination which Jehovah hates, for they have done to their mighty ones, for they even burnt their sons and daughters in fire to their mighty ones. Understand this. Let me flip this into the King James. Hold it. Let me do a parallel. No, compare. All right. I want y'all to understand this. Okay, this is the Bishop's Bible, Geneva Bible. All right. We got the Strong's Concordance. So let's go. BRG. Thou shalt not do unto the Lord thy God for every abomination to the Lord God which he hateth. This is for those of you that don't like me reading the Hebrew, more accurate Hebrew translation. They have done unto their gods, for even their sons and their daughters have they burnt. Do y'all understand the gravity what I just read to you? Do you all understand the gravity, the immense gravity of what I just read to you? All right. Oh, I know. I know. That's what I was talking about, brother. They'll be the first ones to betray you. It's always the ones closest to us. All right. All these people, yes, the abortion count of us by the black woman is higher than all the genocide of the dictators of the 20th century, even Cecil Rhodes, who had mass genocide. These women outdid him. But what I just read to you is the Most High hates human sacrifice. Understand the gravity behind that. So we don't bring other people's religions or theologies into our camps. The Most High hates human sacrifice. He says it's an abomination, for they burn their sons and daughters to their gods. Deuteronomy says that the Most High hates human sacrifice. What's up, Baruch 12? All right. So let me break something else down. Not only does he hate human sacrifice, people misunderstand the lesson he was teaching to Abraham. And the lesson he was teaching to Abraham was not about the sacrifice, period. All right. And it wasn't that the Most High needed sacrifice. As a matter of fact, when you look at the purpose of sacrifice, it had a spiritual purpose, but it was meat for the priests also. So you were sacrificing your goods to maintain the livelihood of the priests so they could do the work that the Most High set them to do for the community. Because the priests did not get land. So they lived off the sacrifices. Now, understand this. The thing that the Most High was doing with Abraham was he wanted to show him how far he would go and that he was not all that unlike the people that he just left. And the Most High had to cleanse him of that. And this wasn't a test for Abraham to see how loyal he was to God, while it was a test for Abraham to see how loyal he was to God, Jehovah. But this was a lesson to Abraham that Jehovah would not have him sacrifice his son. He is not that kind of a deity. He is not that kind of a mighty one. Well, how do you know that was the case? Because what my preacher said about Abraham, but if you read Deuteronomy, the scripture I just read, the commandments that I just read, where he says he hates human sacrifice. He said human sacrifice is an abomination. Now, what's this look like? He's going to tell you it's an abomination, but he wants you to do it. Yes. Yes, Baruch 12. All right. So these are the warnings of those who would betray us, because they will not leave this. They don't want to read this. And they're not going to listen to the Most High's real Nabis. I want y'all to understand that. He's mentioned, the Most High mentioned over and over again, All right. He's mentioned that over and over again. And so right now, we can't trust the Jezebel, the modern day Jezebel, because she will betray us. We better look in our families and make peace with who may or may not betray us. All right. And so basically, we got to look for people who are following religion versus the people who will follow the leadership of the man. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. We do not deal with females anymore that says, well, I can read for myself. Because they can read for themselves, but you need to set up what they need to read and what the house is going to be trained to do. All right. I'm just saying. Because if you don't, this woman that is in your house will destroy it. Because nothing is more important to her than her running you. Remember, it said that she shall desire your position as the man. And if you look in the Afro community, right? When you look at that, you will see that this woman will destroy you rather than listen to you. So we got to understand what's really going on. All right, we got to understand. So basically, in Jeremiah, let me see what else. All right, and remember, the wicked one despises us, even though she will come to us as a friend. And they love any man that's going to listen to them. All right, they love any man that's going to listen to them. All right, and why do they love any man that's going to listen to them? Because at the end of the day, she'll destroy them with happiness. And even in the midst of destroying them, she has this one out. Well, he should have been the leader. All right. So understand this. Now, this is why you look for sisters that's going to support you and trust your leadership. Now, you have to understand your leadership once you get that sister. And it's going to be more than one of them. Now, Isaiah starts to make sense. Isaiah 1:4. In that day, 7 women shall lay hands on one man, saying, take us and give us your name to take. We will bake our own bread, make our own clothes. Just give us our name to take your name to take away our iniquity. See, because of their iniquity, because of the iniquity of the majority of the BWs, no man is going to want them in their camp, and no man is going to want to protect them. They ain't going to want them in their enclave, and they're not going to want to protect them. Why? Because in the time of wickedness, where you got a country such as this with the people in leadership that want you eliminated, and you look at what the Democrats have done to black leaderships in the past, the people who consider themselves black, right? And I'm saying black for a reason, because we are Afro-Indigenous, so we belong to the Most High. When you're black, you understand? You're a color, so you have no identity outside of a box of Crayola crayons. All right? These churches are a wicked thing. This is what Revelation was talking about, the religious system. All right? They never did love the Most High because they spend more time avoiding the truth than looking for it. All right? So they never really loved the Most High. Now, I want y'all to understand this. I talked about current events. I talked about who's doing what. And I tried to get y'all to understand. I showed y'all the women beating these cars up, doing all kind of stuff. There's all kind of videos on my thing. All right. If you go and look on Odyssey, let me put that in here. Hola, hola. Y ahora yo hace un video en vivo.
Okay.
Yo quiero.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. So yo hablo en inglés, so tú no entiendo. Yo hablo sobre un biblio. ¿Entiendo?
Okay.
Okay. Chao. Mañana. ¿Qué hora tú vas aquí?
Ya te escribo.
Ajá. Tú quedas aquí. ¿Qué hora tú voy aquí en Barranquilla?
Espérate, ya te escribo.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Ciao. Okay. So, I was going to go to Proverbs, bro. Oh, I was going to go Proverbs 106 after this. Okay. Okay. You ain't beat me there. I thought you was going to go there. All right. So basically, so this is where we get to, right? Now, the reason why this is important, because we see what's coming, and we know that we are the target. If you're an Afro man, we are the target of Bill Gates, Fauci, and stuff. We're the ones they're trying to get rid of. All right. Now, we also have as allies other folks. Okay, understand this. So we have as allies others. Because the late Caucasian is starting to understand that people that are evil enough to commit genocide against the people because of their skin color, they'll look for a reason to do it to somebody else for some other reason. Remember, in Rwanda, the Tutsis and the Hutus almost wiped each other out over noses. See, they were the same color, but the French got them to hate each other because of noses. The French did that. And so we have to stop letting them put in our heads what beauty is, what smart is, and we need to make that decision for ourselves. Right? And so therefore these days are come, declares Yahweh. A place will be no more called toughest or the valley of, okay, this is Here we go. Let's start here. Jeremiah 19 and 4, right? Because they have forsaken me and have profaned this place and have burnt incense to other mighty ones whom neither they nor their fathers nor the sovereigns of Israel have known. So understand this. So we didn't know them. Our forefathers didn't know them. No one worshiped some dude named Jebus. No one worshiped in a church. That isn't how they did it. As a matter of fact, the synagogue didn't exist. There was the temple. Understand this. I can understand going to the synagogue as a school. All right. So this brings up my other points. We are going to have our own school and train each other in the knowledge that we know. Period. I have a brother struggling with math. He's struggling with math because it really never meant anything to him. Because we're not builders or anything. It's done for us in most cases. Right? And so we're going to have to come up with other ways of doing things. Right? So neither they or their fathers or sovereigns have known Yehuda and have known. Yeah. And they have filled this place with the blood of innocence. That's all these children's that they have filled it with this place, this state, the United States, with the blood of innocence, from the slaves all the way down to these children, and have built high places of Baal. And this exists within all these parties where the rich people in their secret organizations go and worship Baal, to the burning of their sons with fire and for ascension offerings to Baal, which I did not command or speak, nor did it come into my heart. Wait a minute. So you mean human sacrifices, sacrificing a son, never came into the Most High's heart? Did y'all understand this? Hold on. Let me do this. I want to copy this because I'm gonna have to stick this one up in here. I want y'all to understand this. I want y'all to understand this. The sacrificing of a son never came in the Most High's heart. Hold on. Let's look at this. Eve loves the Menzunga. These dudes was trying to lift this woman up. Oh, Menzunga. She was such a great queen. Let me tell you how she got to be queen. All right. Let me tell you how she got to be queen. She got to be queen by killing a newborn son. She poisoned her father and brother. In other words, she became sovereign by killing off the family. She killed the son and supposedly ate the heart. And the dude was like, ooh, this woman was tough. This is what this sick dude said. He said this woman was tough. Understand this. She took the life of a baby. How is that tough? All right. She took the life of a baby and then she poisoned the males in her family. All right. And this dude talking about, oh, she was a great queen because she kept the Portuguese. No, she was making deals with her coochie and still have hold on, wait. They said, and she stopped some of her people from being slaves. No, she gave them her best people. All the priests, all the builders were turned into slaves for the Portuguese and the Dutch. And this dude was like, oh, she had a harem of 60 men. That's stupid. That shows you how weak we are some of the times. Another Jezebel, Queen Nzunga. All right. She died of old age because she was spreading the cat around. We know this is what was going on. All right. But these dudes are so sick that they think that the evil that this woman did by killing a baby, eating a heart, poisoning the father and the sons and his sons, poisoning all the males, wiping them out, and then using your coochie as a political bargaining chip, while at the same time causing a brain drain on your so-called queendom by by sending all of your priests. Understand this: the priest and all the people with the brains and know-how. Why? Because in order to maintain power over the weak, she had to get rid of the strong with the help of the Caucasians. That's Queen Nzunga. Queen Nzunga is that's who Nzungu. That's who she was. All right. And that's basically it. So when we go back, we live as men where we're sovereigns over our houses and our land. We come together. We don't have standing armies. We come together if some SH go down and help one another out. That's how we do that. All right. And so there is, the Most High is against sacrifices of any kind. So he wouldn't send no son from anywhere to do this. I kept telling you that the whole New Testament was written opposite of what we were supposed to do in our own Torah. And they did that on purpose to probably to be all the you know how Satan is, which is an accuser. No, these people are weak. As soon as these Romans come and put some stuff up, they should know better. They read stuff before, but they're going to follow after their gods. Exactly. All right. Exactly. And so this is it. You got a lot of dudes that will worship the evil that women do because they got a coochie. That's it. Why are you worshiping this evil that they do? Well, they got a coochie. Hey, what's up, Rhonda Lee? Oh yeah, I see you. I seen you on TikTok. I could talk about stuff on TikTok I can't talk about here. The only thing is it's hard to show the evidence that I have on there. So I would hope that I would give people enough that they would go and do the research for themselves. All right. All right. And so, all right. So let's continue on. All right. Let's continue on. All right. Therefore, see, the days are coming, declares Jehovah, that this place shall be no more called Tuphet, but or the valley of the son of Hinnom, but rather the valley of slaughter. And that's what the U.S. is. All right, everything should become ruined. All right, and the reason why is it should be. All right, it should be. When we go and look in Psalms, (106). We don't understand how good the commandments are for us. The commandments really, if you use the commandments as a litmus test, if you use the commandments as a litmus test, it will help you to see who's for you and who's not, if you're following them yourself. All right, I want y'all to understand that. All right. We do not mix with nations. We can go somewhere, bring us a wife back that's going to follow us. But we don't go to them. We don't take wives from certain nations. And trust me, in Deuteronomy and Ezra, they're all black nations that whose wives and husbands we are not supposed to give to our daughters, wives, to our sons. They're all black nations. I want y'all to understand that. Anyone that serves idols, and idols is the big part of their nation, and to get with them, you have to serve their idol. You don't have nothing to do with them. To get with a black woman that says you need to become a Christian, you don't have nothing to do with her. Christianity is not monotheistic. It's polytheistic. How do you know? They worship the sun god in December. They worship the goddess Ishtar in whatever time Easter come about. And when they do communion, that is the god Mithras. The body and blood thing is Mithra. Now, if you ain't seen from the commandment that human sacrifice is not the Most High's way, then I don't know what to say after reading it to you. All right. Psalms 136. So we mixed in the nations and learned their works and served their idols and became a snare to them. So, oh, who sold me this? Hey, it might have been Texas Marine. Back in the day, if you became a Christian, then you were a slave so long as you were a Christian, because Christian is a slave religion. Obey those who have rule over you. That's Christian. Titus Flavian was careful about writing that in scripture so that he could get the suckers. They slaughtered their sons and their daughters to demons. Who do you think is running these abortion clinics? Came up with that. Hey, I have a good idea. Let's use abortion. Let's say it's not birth control, but we understand that these wicked women will use it as birth control. All right. They shed innocent blood. the blood of their sons and daughters. Understand this. I can't really point. They shed innocent blood, this blood of their sons and daughters, whom they slaughtered to idols of Canaan. And the land was defiled with blood. The United States is defiled with the blood of innocents. Even during this stuff, this sickness that has come, what is quiet is there are many more abortions than people that even got sick. I think I remember putting it up in a video. So they became unclean by their works and went whoring by their own deeds. And the wrath of Jehovah burnt against his people, and he loathed his own inheritance. He gave them into the land of the nations, and those who hated them ruled over them. And their enemies oppressed them, and they were humbled in their hands. Many times he delivered them, but they rebelled in their plans. So they were brought low for their crookedness. Now, the remedy is for us that have turned away from this wickedness, we'll be able to make it. We might not have stuff, but we'll be happy. Okay? All right? So there it is. There it is. You have the strong that's been calling this out since we learned what it was. And we agree with stuff. Oh, yeah. We agree with a lot of stuff until we start looking into it. Never trust a big button to smile. All right. All right. But then when it came down to it, in talking with some of the dudes here, I found out that one of the dudes says, you young people don't, and this dude look young, talking about you don't know what simp mean. And they don't know we're using the acronym. All right. And so these, like I said, these dudes, they don't look at anything. They don't look at any information. They come to give their 2 cents without looking at stuff or having knowledge of what they're talking about. All right. And that's the issue here. That's the issue here. Now, let me say this. No, she's the modern day Jezebel that the Bible speaks of. All right. Jezebel was wicked because she was able to turn men against the Most High. All right. And that was basically it. She was able to turn a king that was more evil than everyone. And they ruled that place for a while. You know why they ruled for a while? It goes back to 1 Samuel's 8th chapter. Give us a king to rule over us like everybody else. And Samuel warned them that this is evil in the eyes of the Most High. And the people did not heed the warning. All right, understand this. The people did not heed the warning. Thank you, whomever. Oh, okay. Hey, thank you, Brother Elijah. I know you're listening from somewhere. All right. So let me say this. We have brothers in certain parts of the U.S. that if we could get some enclaves in different spots, we may have a fighting chance as a people. All right. If you can't get out of this God-forsaken place, and it has been God-forsaken, then we have some spots. All right. So, brethren. All right, I'm gonna open up the thing now for if brothers have anything to add to this. There we go. All right. So for those of you that want to come on and add to anything, there it is. All right. So if you want to come on, all you gotta do is click that link that I just sent up. All right. Well, with nobody popping on like that, let me say that thank y'all for stopping by. My PayPal me and my Cash App is in the description box. If you want to help out what I'm doing in the community, one of the things is that also there, just check the description box for like background stuff that I have on all of this stuff. All right, check that. You will be surprised at what you may learn. All right, you may be surprised at what you may learn. And I don't mean like learn from me talking, learn from some research. Because I have a lot of research going on with some stuff. All right. So basically, with that said, let me see. All right. So with that said, I'm going to shut this down. Oh, this is a pretty good time. Or is it? What time is it? Okay. All right. So I'm going to shut this down and I will holler at y'all a little later. I might do another one tomorrow. All right. So I probably will do another one tomorrow, but we'll see. And I will talk to you all later. Thank you. Really, thank you for stopping by. Oops, wrong button. All right. So with that said, I'm out. Peace, love, and soul.